What's going on, everybody? Josh Pocock here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at another AI agent framework slash tool, and this one is really good. Now, we have covered Agent Zero on this channel before when it first came out, but fast forward a couple months down the line and this tool is slowly becoming a very unique AI agent that has features and capabilities that a lot of other AI agents don't. The founder just released version 0.7.1, and there's some crazy stuff that we have to cover. They also have an active, rapidly growing school as well as Discord community. And I even put together a document slash resource for you guys that you can go over to make sure you get this up and running as fast as possible, going over all the different updates and everything possibly you would want and need to know regarding Agent Zero. This one's going to be a good one. Let's dive right into it. All right, guys, so as you can see, we covered Agent Zero 2 months ago on this channel, right when it came out, I believe the day after, and I'll leave a link down below for this video if you do want to check it out. We went over kind of where it was at starting, 2 months ago, and it was very new. It still is very new, but, there were a few issues with Agent Zero in terms of, it getting caught up in loops and this and that. And the founder has been improving this tool. As you can see here, there has been a bunch of different releases since that point, and we'll go over some of the main ones. And even the last month, there has been some crazy releases. So 0.7 and 0.7.1 have been some really cool releases, and we'll dive into these in just a second. All right, so just to give a quick overview of Agent Zero for those of you who don't know about Agent Zero. So it's a personal and organic AI framework. So Agent Zero is not a predefined agentic framework. It is designed to be dynamic, organically growing, and learning as you use it. Agent Zero is fully transparent, readable, comprehensible, customizable, and interactive. It uses the computer as a tool to accomplish its/your tasks. And you can see here, it now has a beautiful web UI that when I did the video, it did not have a web UI. It was all CLI, and I really like this web UI. We'll get into that in just a second. All right, so let's dive into this document. So at the start here, we have a few key links. So we have the GitHub repo, we have the school community, the Discord community, we have the docs right here. We have a video from Agent Zero YouTube page about the update 0.7.1 as well as 0.7, which I still would recommend checking out even after this video, as well as an installation guide. So pretty much all the main videos you would want from the original Agent Zero YouTube page, as well as running local models on Agent Zero. You can pretty much run any model you want with Agent Zero, which is one thing I really like about it. It's very customizable, but let's dive into it. So Agent Zero is an advanced AI framework designed for extensibility and customization, created by Jan. Can't say his last name, but he's a pretty hardworking guy. He's commented on the last video I did. So since then, he's made a lot of improvements, and I'm actually very impressed to see it. And it's not a simple application, but a comprehensive system that allows users to create, modify, enhance AI agents for various tasks. So here are the recent updates. So 0.7.1. So pre-installed binaries, persistent conversations, improved documentation, better expression handling. And then 0.7, which had some really cool updates. So revamped UI, enhanced memory system, knowledge management, instruments features, and we're going to cover all these in more in-depth in just a second, extensions framework, and then prompt improvements. All right, so few prerequisites you need before starting this installation process. Git, because you want to git clone it. Most likely Docker, you're going to need that. Python, it's technically you don't need it since it's recommended to use Conda, and then Conda too. I don't have that here, but it's right here, so you're going to need Conda as well. I'll just add that in, Conda. So this is what you're going to be using for the virtual environment, the Conda environment. Okay, so and then you're going to need an OpenAI API key, or Anthropic, Grok, Perplexity, Google, Mistral, OpenRouter, Samba Nova even, which is pretty cool. Azure, Hugging Face, Olama, and LM Studio are all different integrations that can work with Agent Zero. Okay, so the installation process is pretty straightforward. You're going to need to download Mini Conda right here. Okay, once you download that, you're going to need to download Docker. Then you're going to need to download Agent Zero. So you can either download it right here, or you can just git clone it. So you can run this specific command, git clone, and then the URL in your command line. So once you run that, you're going to want to change directories into Agent Zero. So run cd Agent Zero, and then you're going to want to set up a Conda environment. So you're going to basically just run, all you have to do is just run this command right here, Conda create, and then activate the Conda environment so you can run this command. Once you do that, you're going to want to pip install -r requirements, run that. If you're running into any issues, just so you know, as a FYI, it could be because maybe you have global packages, you know, turned on in your Conda environment. So just ask ChatGPT how to disable that or whatnot. And then you're going to configure agent 0. So you're going to, I would copy the .env and you're going to have a copy of the example.env and you're going to rename that to .env. And then you're going to add your OpenAI API key, as well as any other API key that you want in that environment variables right there. So you'll see here, I got the .env file that I already copied, which has my actual API keys in there. And then this is the example, okay? So as you'll see, we got OpenAI, Anthropic, all the different ones that you can use, which is something I really like about Agent Zero, is that they have all these different models. So yeah, you're gonna want to copy that, change it, put your keys in, and then you're good to go. From that point on, you're going to want to open Docker on your desktop. So make sure Docker is running. Other than something like Open Interpreter, where it actually just runs these commands on your actual local desktop environment, Agent Zero runs it within a Docker container. So it's a lot more safe in terms of if you're running it. And you can execute the command python run _ui.py. This will start the web interface. Or if you want to use a CLI like I showed in my first video, you would just run this command. Now we're going to use the UI interface because I didn't cover this yet and it's really nice. Once you run that, it's going to set up the UI interface and you can access it at this port right here, port 50,001. All right, so this is what the web UI looks like. As you can see, we got the send button here. We got the pause button. We have the time up here, the date. We have the status showing connected. We have a sidebar here that we can make smaller or bigger. We can reset chat, do a new chat, load chat, save chat. We can see our different chats right here. We can delete chats. We can enable these different preferences. So auto scroll, dark mode, light mode, show thoughts, show JSON, show utility messages, all these different capabilities. And this is something really cool that I haven't really seen another AI agent tool that we've covered with a really nice web UI like this. So this is a huge upgrade, just this alone for Agent Zero. Are you tired of pouring thousands of dollars into appointment setters only to watch leads slip away? Imagine having a team of elite sales agents booking qualified appointments for you around the clock. No more wasted time on training, no more frustration with performance, and no more draining your budget on inconsistent and expensive call centers. Introducing Stride Agents, AI-powered appointment setters that work 24/7, never get tired, and book appointments while you sleep. Trained on thousands of successful conversations, our AI agents outperform human teams at just 1/10 of the cost. Join the ranks of businesses that doubled their appointments and booking rates in just a matter of weeks. Don't get left behind in the AI revolution. Visit strideagents.com now and transform your entire sales process with cutting-edge AI technology. It's time to accelerate your stride with AI agents. I just want to quickly go over a few key features and components as to how Agent Zero works so you get the understanding of it. So the agent hierarchy. So this allows for task delegation among multiple agents. You have tools. So this is pretty standard, custom built tools like web search, code execution, etc. And I'd suggest checking out the docs so you can see all the different tools. We have memory systems, so long-term storage, prompts, knowledge base, instruments, and I'm going to dive into some of these in just a second more in depth. Extensions, Docker integration. So this is secure code execution in isolated containers, and then customization options. And then Agent Zero architecture. So like I said, I would suggest checking out the docs right here. This architecture markdown file right here is very good. And it pretty much covers everything in terms of the architecture, core concepts, the different types of, the hierarchy and communication, how that works, the interaction flow, memory systems, the different tools. So call subordinate, code execution, knowledge tool, response tool, memory tool, web page content tool, the instruments, knowledge, different prompts right here, the key files, all right, such as the agent.py, the run CLI, the directory structure, so bundle, Docker, explaining the whole entire structure so you get a really good sense of how you can work around Agent Zero and customize it yourself, because this is definitely a tool that you do want to customize and it has that flexibility for you. This diagram just illustrates the hierarchical relationship between agents and their interaction with tools, extensions, instruments, prompts, memory, and knowledge base. So the main agent right here is the agent.py file. And then the memory system right here, this is the path to the memory right here. So python/helpers/memory.py. And this is the tool that it's using, memory load. So memory loading happens at the start of each session. So this is relevant memories are automatically loaded and injected into the system prompt, allowing for the agent to utilize past interactions effectively. And then the memory structure. So the memory is categorized into 4 distinct areas. So storage and retrieval of user provided information. So this is like names, API keys, and then fragments. So this contains pieces of information from previous conversations updated automatically. And then solutions. So this stores successful solutions from past interactions for future reference. And then metadata. So each memory includes metadata. So the IDs, timestamps, enabling efficient filtering and searching based on specific criteria. All right, so here in Python and then helpers, you can see memory.py right here, and we can see the different segments. So main, fragments, solutions, and instruments. And then knowledge management. So the path location right here is /knowledge. So the tool is the knowledge_tool, and there's 2 subfolders. So there's default and custom. So default is for general knowledge files, and then custom is for files that are ignored by GitHub. So this will allow you to store personal data without pushing it to the repo. So this is the path right here. And then automatic imports of files. The files uploaded to these folders are automatically imported into their corresponding memory areas when the memory database is initialized. And then organized subfolders. So subfolders correspond to memory areas, main, solutions, etc., determining where important information is stored in memory. Okay, so here's knowledge right here, the knowledge folder, and you can see we got custom and we got default right here, and then we have these subcategories such as main and solutions right here. So that's where you can add different knowledge. So instruments are custom tools executed inside the Docker container. Users can create instruments by adding markdown files under the instruments folder. They can be shell scripts, Python scripts, or even JavaScript executed in Node.js. And then the framework automatically injects instrument instructions into the prompt when relevant. So you can see instruments folder right here. We can see custom, default, and you can see this one right here, YouTube download. It's an example. And this is one right here. So we can see problem, download a YouTube video solution. If folder is specified, CD to it, and then run instrument bash /instruments default YouTube download, this bash script right here for the URL of that you input, and then wait for the terminal to finish. So we can see the bash script right here, and then it's sudo apt and then YT download. So it's basically a script to download the YouTube file. And this is good because if you just say download a YouTube file, it could use any sort of library and some may not work. So this is specifying exactly how you want to solve a particular problem. All right, that's the instrument right here. Next is extensions. So here's the path for extensions. So new extension system has been implemented for better organization. So it has a modular structure. So different subfolders correspond to various stages of the agent's message loop. And then the execution order. So files within each extension folder are executed in alphabetical order. Extensions handle tasks such as preparing prompts, recalling memories, and memorizing new information. And this is one thing to note that Jan said. So in future, most of the code in Agent Zero framework will be in the form of extension, tools, and helpers to keep the main agent.py file clean and simple. Okay, so that's the direction that he's going. Okay, so prompts. So the path for prompts is right here. So file inclusion, prompts can now include other files using the syntax with these curly brackets, and then you include the path to the file. So this allows splitting the system's prompts into sections for better organization. You don't have to include it all in one. And then users can create custom prompts by replacing only specific files rather than copying the entire default folder. And then the reflection capability. So new prompts have been added to enable reflection. So chain of thought, the agent can use a step-by-step reasoning process. And then reflection, so the agent can review and revise its initial thoughts before providing a final response. So it can reflect on its previous thoughts. So you can specify the different prompt subdirectories to enable or disable reflection capabilities. So to enable reflection, you can edit the initialize.py file to change the prompts subdirectory to either this one right here or this one right here, or you can add your own custom prompt folder with, reflections enabled, and you can also adjust different settings in this file. All right, so I left a screenshot right here. All you would simply do is go to the initialize.py, and you will see on currently line 34, we have, actually line 33, we have prompt subdirectory. You would just uncomment that out, and you would just change the default to this one right here. So if you go to your prompts directory right here, you can see default, which is the default prompts. You can check some of these out. You could even customize them too. And then you can also see the Dianoia right here, as well as the XL. But if we go to some of these prompts, we can see the process is thought, and then it has reflection here. So did I provide sufficient context and clear instructions? Is this the most efficient approach? So it asks itself that after it thinks. All right, and here's a screenshot of reflection in action. As you can see, thoughts, then reflection, then revised thoughts, and then it uses the tool and then provides its output. Okay, so also within the doc, I included Agent 0 versus Agent E versus Agent Q versus Open Interpreter. So for those of you who are wondering kind of when you should use these different tools, because I know I've covered a lot of different AI agent tools, and they all have kind of different use cases. And then I also included Agent 0 versus Crew AI versus AutoGen versus LangGraph. And I think a lot of these are really great tools. And I do think Agent 0 is a great tool too. I just think you need to kind of know when to use certain ones. For example, Agent E and Agent Q are really good for web browsing. And I am excited for 0.8 with Agent 0 to see how improved the web browsing capabilities are. All right, so like I said, this document will be down below so you can check it out, go through it more thoroughly, make sure you understand everything. Now let's go ahead and just test a very simple task. So I'm just gonna grab a video here. This will be the video that I made yesterday on GPT-me, and I'm going to say, please download this YouTube video as an MP4. So we're going to run this. So it's actually searching its memories because I actually did download a video before, and you can see, so it has 3 memories found, download video right here. We can see the query, 0 instruments used, 1 solution found, because it did download a video previously successfully, so it saved that as a solution. We can see here thoughts, tool name that it used, so code execution tool, runtime, terminal. We can see the code that it ran, so it's using YTDLP, and we can see its thoughts. Okay, we can see that it used it. All right, so let's see, externally managed environment, error. Okay, so the environment is externally managed. Okay, so it had an issue here. The installation failed because it's being externally managed. I will attempt to install using the package manager. Okay, so I just paused it here, which is a really nice feature that you can literally pause and play it. So I can play it. It's going to continue. It said that it had an error just because the video has a special character in the title, so it's fixing that. It's iterating upon itself, which is really nice. So now you can see it's like changing the title name right here. All right, the download still fails due to the file name being too long, which causes issues with the file creation. I will shorten the output. So it's doing all these iterations. Like, these are all things that you would have to manually do and manually find out and go back and forth. And as you can see, it's all doing this fairly quickly. All right, so I'm asking it, what's the time zone in Sydney, Australia, and what's the weather and time right now? All right, so it's using the knowledge tool, and it's checking online sources, and then it's searching what is the current weather, what is the current time, looking on weather.com. Okay, so here it got the current time zone right here, and then it said it was unable to retrieve the weather and time at the moment, and I said, can you try again? It tried a couple different things, and then it was able to actually get the time right here. So it's Australian Eastern Daylight Time. The current weather in Sydney is clearing showers with slight chance of shower in the morning. Okay, so it got the weather. I'm going to ask it for the exact time. Okay, so I've actually been troubleshooting a couple things for the last 30 minutes, and I found this in the Discord channel. Basically, I was trying to download a YouTube video as well as even just do a couple things with the web searching, and you'll see here that this guy had the same issue. So he was encountering 403 errors, and he, for certain things, for either downloading URLs or videos or trying to visit URLs, I can see the video from the browser while not on a VPN, so it doesn't look like my country restricted. And then Jan said right here, he said 403 is common when web pages block bots. 0.8 will be about web tools, so this will be addressed. Okay, so there still seems to be some issues, at least for me, you know, that with, you know, searching certain things with the web. As of now, it seems like a lot of my stuff is getting blocked, and that can be sometimes be due to the fact that, you know, if you're just letting Agent Zero run, it can potentially, you know, get rate limited or this or that, or maybe seem like a bot. So that's one thing I will say, be careful with. I did download, I used YT download to download the YouTube video before the video, and it worked perfect. It actually worked really, really well, really, really smooth. And I really do like the whole interface and how everything works, and it seems to be working really well. That was one issue that I seem to be facing though with some of these prompts here, was the 403 error. 0.8 should hopefully address some of those issues. All right, I'm going to do a prompt right here. Write me the Pong game in Python and run it. Okay, so I think it's noticing that Pygame isn't installed, so it's going to have to install Pygame. Okay, so here is the Pong game that it wrote. I could tell it to add some scoreboards right here, but, you know, I'm not going to go through all that right now. A few things to note. You know, it did write it. So at first it wrote it like this, which is perfect. I was having some issues trying to run it. I don't know if it can necessarily run it since it's all in a Docker container. I don't know. Maybe it could, maybe it can't. I don't know. So then here I was just like, don't run it, because it was trying to run it. Just save it. And then, you know, I was trying to save it with everything being written on the same line. I'm like, write it properly. And it was having an issue with that. So I think you got to play around with it and be kind of precise with your prompts. Obviously, this is something that's going to be running continuously. So if you kind of let it run down a path that isn't correct, it's a little bit more challenging than to fix it, I think, opposed from like if I just start a new chat. Sometimes I find that's easier. And if you do let it run down a wrong path, you can't edit your messages up here to change it. So it may like kind of be stuck in a weird context, I think, and try this same thing. Okay, so let's try this. Tell me how many subscribers Josh Pocock has on YouTube. Okay, so it did a search here. Okay, so 404 client error again on the web page. Yeah, so I even tried running like the same sort of commands in the Docker container right here and getting the same issues. And you know, then I can run it in my own command line and it will download it. But I get why this is an issue. It's not necessarily Agent Zero's fault, but like he said, he is planning on improving this part hopefully in the coming versions, so you will face less of these issues. Before this video it was working perfectly, so I wish I could show you guys that, but unfortunately now I'm kind of reaching these 404 or 400 403 errors for a lot of these searches. So maybe we'll just take a little bit of time until it gets unblocked. But I still do really think this is a really great tool, and I am extremely excited for what I've seen with these upgrades. You know, Jan has been working really hard here pumping out these upgrades, and I think that Agent Zero is becoming a more and more established tool as these upgrades come out. They have a really good enthusiastic community, like I said, on School and Discord. So if you're looking to use this tool, I would definitely recommend joining those, the community there, checking it out. I think people are contributing and whatnot and adding cool things. So I'm really excited for the future with this tool. Like I said, guys, the resource down below will be here. It took me a while to put this together and really wrap my head around the concept of some of these upgrades. So I hope this can kind of shortcut that process for you, get you to really understand everything, easily find how you guys can customize this tool for your liking. If you guys have any questions about that, let me know in the comments down below, guys, and let me know what your thoughts are around Agent Zero. Do you like Agent Zero? Do you have some issues with Agent Zero? How do you think it compares to some of the other tools that we've covered on this channel? If you're new to the channel, we upload videos every single day on AI, automation, marketing, sales, business growth. So if you like that type of content and you got some value here, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to stay up to date with the daily uploads. If you're new here, guys, and you haven't already joined our free community, stridecommunity.com, our free Facebook group and Discord channel, I'll leave a link down below so you can join for free. Thank you guys so much for the recent 9K subscribers. We're on the road to 10K. I know we're going to hit that shortly. I'm really grateful for everyone who watches these videos. Also too, guys, if you run a business and you need help with your systems, your marketing, your sales, your operations, all that good stuff, as well as implementing AI into your business, we have AI appointment setters that book appointments for you automatically while you sleep. Check out Stride agents down below or book a call at executivestride.com/apply with myself and my team, and we can see if it's a good fit or not. If there's any other AI tools, AI agents, or anything you want me to cover in another video topic, let me know down below, guys. Other than that, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Keep hustling, keep grinding, and of course, guys, accelerate your stride. Take care.